Hello everybody, it's Dan, your friendly fishmonger at dansfish.com, where we're on a mission to humanely source, maintain, and transport aquarium fish to our customers. I've got a bunch of lookers to show you today, but we're going to start with these because they're out and about and looking for food. These are not quite ready yet. Most of the fish I'm going to show you are ready for sale. These need, about half a week more of quarantine. Not because there's anything wrong with them, but because we got these later than the other fish I'm going to show you. So they just haven't been here as long. But these are more of the dwarf red-tailed eels. They're out and about. They're doing great. They're eating everything we give them. Frozen bloodworms, frozen brine shrimp, and also they don't mind vibrobites. Here's another tank of them. Look at them. They're just, look at that. Not hiding. I mean, they sometimes go and hide and hang out like you would expect, like these guys in this little artificial garbage sack plant that we made. They're one of the prettiest little eels ever, and as far as we know, these are going to top out at about 7 inches. We have checked with our customers who have bought these from us in the past, and as far as I know, nothing has grown bigger than 6 inches yet, or thereabouts. So I don't think these are going to be giants. I think these are going to be one of those smaller species of eels. They're doing fantastic, so really excited to have those in stock again. Now here is something very exciting to show you. Can you see these tiny little fish eggs? One there, one there, one there. There's all kinds of them in here. Hopefully they're showing up clearly. Those are fish eggs. And let me show you which fish they belong to. And here's the fish that produced those eggs. And that mop right there, I just put it back in the aquarium. This is Melanotania species Cauliflower. These guys are only, 1.5 inches, let's say, give or take a bit. Some are maybe closer to 2 inches. And they're already spawning for us, and we're getting a lot of good eggs. Now, this is an amazing rainbow fish. They only get about 2.5 inches or so. So this is a dwarf species. You don't need a monster tank to keep these happy. And look at the color on them. They're one of the prettiest fish. And these aren't flashing right now. When they're flashing, they're even better. But nice kind of light blue body with a dark band up the middle center, and bright red tail on these guys. Really nice fish, and this is the best batch of these we've ever had. We haven't had problems with them. They're spawning for us. They have good body weight. Everything seems to be great with this batch. So I think they're going to do really well for you. Oh, there's one. I don't know if I can get him on camera. That's probably the dominant male right there. Still not, he's not flashing, but he's got a little more color than the rest. So anyway, Melanotania species Cauliflower, doing fantastic. All right, check out this group of Rominos rasboras. Now you might notice something special about this group, which is they all have red on them. These are all males. So they're not colored up fully yet. They've only been here for, about 2 weeks now. They're just getting through quarantine. But you can already see the kind of iridescent blue coming in. And I know I've shown this fish before, but this is a new batch. So I want to show you the batch that you would actually be getting the fish from if you bought them from us in the near future. So you have an idea of what you're actually getting. So these are all going to be males. They're a little more expensive when they're sexed like this, but not much, like only $1 more. But they're all going to have the red noses and the red tips on the fins and that bright iridescent sky blue on the body once they settle in your tanks and color up. So look at the body weight on these guys. They're doing fantastic. It's a good batch. Speaking of good looking fish, check out these Tropheus du Bois, the white spot cichlid, or white spot Tropheus. They're doing fantastic. Now, they only keep this color form as juveniles. Once they're adults, they're going to turn into a banded color pattern where the front and back half of the body is a real dark color, like a black or blackish color. And then they have a band of yellow or white going down the center of the body, a thick band. So they don't keep this white spotted pattern, but it's sure pretty while they have it. But even as adults, they're a pleasing fish. This is a really neat, interesting fish. Nothing quite like Tropheus out there. Tropheus du Bois. Oh, I'm going to get in there now. They're all clumped up. Oh yeah, look at that. Look at you pose. That fish thought it was on the catwalk. Anyway, we'll move on, but good looking batch for sure. Here is what I'm going to call a perfect batch of red-eyed red hyphen cauliflower swordtail males. The reason I'm going to call them a perfect batch is because we haven't had any problems with these. They're very healthy. So like, I don't know if you entered them into a show if they would win best of show. I don't know if they're perfect in that sense, but they're perfect in the sense that we haven't had any that we're worried about. None of these have been off in the corner shimmying. They've all been eating really well. Everyone's acting like they should. And I'm very excited to have these. And something else that's great about these is they are fertile. Let me show you their females. Okay, here are the females. Again, doing wonderful, no problems with these whatsoever. And we've had several that have dropped some babies for us, so we know these are nice and fertile. So this is an amazing batch of fish. This is one that's hard to find in the United States, and when you do, it's really hard to find healthy ones. I'm hopeful that we can get these established more in the United States. They are not a cheap fish because they're rare and we don't have them well established here. So we're always having to bring them in, and it's hard to find good ones. But these are good ones. I guarantee you these are going to do well for you. While we're looking at some of the best live bearers in the world, let's look at these. These are Albino Platinum Mollies. A great batch, doing wonderfully for us. And look at the consistency of this line. Look how consistent those fish are. This is a line that has been worked with tender loving care. They're all healthy for us. They're eating really well, good size. Really hard to find this fish and really hard to find it in this quality. So these are not cheap. These are on par with those high fin Swordtails that I showed you earlier. But if we can get these going and established in the United States, I would just be thrilled. Albino Platinum Mollies for the win! All right, a little while ago, we brought in a batch of Rainbow Shiners that was the best batch I had ever seen. I'm thrilled to say we've been able to get another group from that same supplier, also the best batch I've ever seen. Why do I say that? Look at the body weight on these guys. These are perfect. They're healthy, they're robust. I could have sold them day one when they came in, I think, with confidence. I didn't. I mean, we had to give them their 2-week quarantine like we always do, but they came in so strong that I knew they were going to do well. Some of the males are already getting that beautiful blue and kind of purple sheens that they get. Not all of them, but some of them are. I think these are going to make someone really happy. One of the prettiest of our United States native fishes. These are from the Southeast, and they never disappoint. Another really nice live bearer. These are the Tuxedo Wag Swordtails with the high fins. Check these out. Look at that fin. I mean, he's against a black background, so I realize that makes it a little difficult to see it, but he is strutting his stuff right there. No problems with these. These have been rock solid for us. I'm just going to follow you. You are so pretty right now. I mean, black fin on a black background. Not ideal, but I think you got the idea. And let me show you the females that go with these. These are the males. And just as pretty as the males are these females. Look at the weight on these. These are fantastic. Look at that nice, fine, tall dorsal fin. Really nice batch. Let's get right in there so you can really see them. I mean, they're as pretty as the males. The only thing they don't have that the males have is that sword. Besides that, they look just as nice in my book. No problems with these. They've been healthy and hardy since we brought them in, so I'm confident they'll do well for you. Not cheap at all. These really rare high-finned swordtails go for a pretty penny, but I think they're worth it. And let's get them bred. Let's get them distributed. Let's get more of them available. Oh, so pretty. All right, this is kind of a fun tank for me. These are a bunch of juvenile Tilapia Alaniwapoga, one of the prettiest rainbow fish out there. We have adults for sale, so if you want, larger ones that are going to get their color quicker, we have adults for sale, but these are their babies. We bred and raise these right here at Dan's Fish, so if you want some juveniles around an inch to an inch and a quarter, let's say, around an inch, give or take a little bit, then you can get these, you can watch them grow up, and the price point's pretty good since they're young and small. And look at that betta. That is a koi betta, a female. I think she looks fantastic. And then there's also some gold green cories. These are Corydoras Melanotania, a very pretty cory, and green and gold is aptly named. They have some nice gold coloration on them and some green sheens down the body. So I really like this one. I think it's one of the prettier of the Corydoras. So I like this tank. Very beautiful betta, some good looking cories, and a whole bunch of little baby rainbow fish that we raised up, which is totally fun to do. These are Coastai Tetras, or Blackline Tetras. One of the coolest, I think, tetras. A really good schooling fish. They get decent size, and they remind me kind of a penguin tetra with the black in the tail. It's not quite the same, and it's in a different spot and all that, but maybe a larger version of a penguin tetra, where on the tail, the black goes up the top edge of the tail instead of the bottom edge. Anyways, Coastai Tetras, one you don't see all the time. Nice hardy fish, and this batch has been doing absolutely wonderful for us. So just thought I'd show them off. I love it when they do that, when they play sports with their food. Like, it's like rugby. Tetra rugby. They don't even let it hit the ground. I like this tank as well. This is Java rice fish in with some celestial pearl Danios. And with those Java rice fish in there, the celestial pearl Danios are much less shy than they can be. They basically act as dither fish for the celestial pearl Danios. And look at the body weight on these Danios. Those CPDs are looking good. It's very normal to get CPDs in that are emaciated and don't do well for you. This is a nice solid batch. It's going to do well for you. I can guarantee that. They've been solid for us. And they're not maybe as big. They're kind of young, but the body weight's awesome, which is what you want. When they come in with pinched bellies, it's sad and takes forever to get them nursed back to health. And when you get those as a hobbyist, you often have heavy losses. So this batch is going to do well for you. It's healthy, it's fat, it's sassy. So if you've tried CPDs and not had luck or been wary of them, I think this is a batch you could try, and I think you're going to have success. These guys have been rock solid for us. Look at the eyes on those rice fish. Like, they remind me of a lamprey killifish. Nice bright eyes. And on some of these, they're breeding for us all the time. Let's find a female. You see that cluster of eggs hanging off that female right there, like a bunch of grapes off her vent? That's what they do. They expel the eggs, they're fertilized, and they carry them around on their vent like that until they deposit them up on those plants, and then they hatch later. So rice fish are a very easy fish to keep and breed if you want to try egg layers for the first time. They have bright blue eyes, like a lamp eye that shines from across the room. And when they carry those clusters of eggs around, it's just kind of cool. The males will get a very long, kind of comey-like filaments off of their anal fin and their dorsal fin. And I think they're just a neat fish. Anyway, Celestial Pearl Danios and Java rice fish doing fantastic. Okay, here's a group of gold laser Corydoras, the CW10s. One of the prettiest Corys out there. They get that bright gold neon stripe down the dorsal surface. Well, right on each side of the dorsal surface. This batch has been good for us. They're eating really well on prepared foods. I think they're going to do great for you. We checked their bellies the other day. They have nice fat bellies. So these are ready to go. So if you've wanted some, these are not the least expensive Cory in the world, that's for sure. They carry a higher price point than like Aeneas and Paleotis and some of those common ones. So they're kind of expensive, but I think they're worth it. They're healthy and they're very pretty. All right, here's one of my favorite fish ever. This is the gold form of the Roseline Barb, Sahyadra denisoni, the Denison Barb. Sometimes they call them, well, they call them all kinds of names, but this is a gold form of that. And I just love them. I love the high amount of variation. You get some that are all white, some that have some brown on them, some that are just gold and orange. And it took us a long time, but we finally found a good source for these. And for, year and a half, couple years now, something like that, we've been bringing them in, and they've been doing really well for us and really well for our customers. I mean, every now and then there's a snafu, but in general, they've been doing great. So just wanted to show you the current batch. We have a few tanks of these, but this is one of the tanks that we would catch out of, were you to order the gold Roseline Barbs on our website. All right, we have a couple tanks of Threadfin Rainbows. What's important on these is body weight. And if they have come in with good body weight, they almost always do well. And as you can see, these have really good body weight. Now, this is a naturally slender fish, so really good body weight isn't huge in rotund. It's still slender, but they aren't pinched, they aren't emaciated, they're doing really well for us. So I think they're going to do well for you as well. It's a good solid batch. They're not fully mature yet. We're starting to see some color on some of these. We're starting to get the extended fins and such, but these still have a little bit of growing to do, but they're healthy. So I think they're going to do well for you. Size-wise, I would say we're looking at 0.75 inches to just a little over an inch on the biggest males if you count the tail extensions. So not a fish that gets huge, but they will get bigger than that. Threadfin Rainbows. Okay, so these are a less expensive option for someone that wants some of the fancy Swordtails. These are the red-eyed red Vienna broccoli hyphen Swordtails, but these are younger. Now they're about 1.5 inches, 1.25 inches maybe. We have 2 tanks of them. They're each doing really, really well. We haven't had any problems with these. Because they're smaller though, we're selling them unsexed. If you look carefully, you'll see they are developing some secondary sex characteristics. So you can start seeing the thickening on the first rays of the anal fin on a few of the males, but it hasn't really turned into a gonopodium yet. Unlike, I see one in there with an actual developed gonopodium, and they haven't developed the sword on the end of the tail yet either. So that's good. We want them to get good body size before they develop. When they develop really young, they never get very big. They'll stay small and skinny their whole life. So you kind of want the later developing males, but it does make it really hard to sex them. So we do have both sexes in here, but we're not going to be able to sex them for you. So because of that, these are a lot less expensive since we can't sell them as pairs. So if you want to get fancy swordtails, they're still expensive. Don't get me wrong, but they are not nearly as expensive as the adult pairs. So it's a good way to get into them if you want to get a group and save some cash. And odds are, if you get 6 or more, that you'll end up with a few pairs and a nice breeding group. But anyway, that's just another option for fancy swordtails. So I told you that these eels were eating Vibrobites, which is awesome, that they're eating dry prepared foods. But Johnny was like, you can't just tell them that, you got to show them that. So here you go. Just dropped in some Vibrobites and you can see them going around, snarfing them up. These are not picky at all. They're aquarium bred and raised. Look at these two going for the same one. And so they're used to prepared foods. Yeah, look at these guys go on Vibrobites. That's awesome. These are so fun to watch eat. I love dwarf red-tailed eels. I think they're just amazing. And our supplier does a great job. I mean, look at these. Aquarium bred and raised, eating prepared foods, doing awesome. I think you're going to be very, very happy with these. Eels are so derpy. Yes, I stole that term from Aquarium Co-op. Thank you, Corey, for the inspiration. But look at them. Anyway, there you go. They're eating really well. They're colorful. They're fantastic. I think you're going to like these a lot. I sure do, in case you can't tell. So thanks for coming on this tour of new fish from Dan's Fish. Please keep your arms and legs in the vehicle until it comes to a complete stop, which is... Hey everyone, it's Dan. If you want to learn more about aquarium fish, we do a live stream every Wednesday at 9 p.m. Eastern on the Dan's Fish YouTube channel. If you're in the market for aquarium fish, check us out at dansfish.com. We ship to the US and parts of Canada. And if you want something fishy to wear, we've got merch. Till next time, have a good one. Bye-bye.